When you start to walk on that narrow path that belongs to the committed few and the obedient few, people like Ed and people like Brad and people like Andy Frisell are like, man, this dude's special. I like this guy. He's authentic. He does what he says he's going to do. I can trust him. I like the way I like how he honors his wife, his children, his mother, his community. Who wouldn't want to be around that kind of person?
Everything is possible. Just hustle. Just hustle.
The $1 Million Hustle Podcast, where we keep it real, a stated entrepreneurship wisdom. Learn to think like a millionaire and hustle like you're broke. Here's your host, Billy the Kid, aka Billionaire.
Everything is possible. Just hustle. Just hustle. Everything is possible. Just hustle.
Welcome to the $1 Million Hustle Podcast, baby. It is your boy Billy the Kid, aka BDK, aka Billionaire in this mug. Wow. That's literally all I can say. I don't think people realize how powerful it is to do these shows, these recordings, get on this mic. It's extremely powerful, and especially when the guest gives you that vibe. And it is a thing, guys. Those of you who are listening, it is a thing. Like, energies are real, vibes are real. Whether it's, you know what? Like, let's be grateful for having platforms nowadays where we can see each other. And it's funny. It's something we talked about today on part of the show was, there was no FaceTime. There was no any of that in the 90s. And so let's be grateful for that, because this is what we're able to do nowadays, right? Shout out to Carlos Reyes, man. This podcast, like, I cannot wait. I'm literally like trying to hurry up and do this intro so that way I can go and listen to it myself, because there were so many gems in this episode. I cannot wait for you guys to listen to it. Real quick, I just want to give you guys a quick update of everything that's going on. Shout out to all the guys in the mastermind, everybody in the mastermind. That thing is growing, and these people are just killing it. They're becoming better people, and I can't wait to... we're probably going to do some more testimonials for you guys to listen to every story. But besides that, everything's going great. The whole real estate thing, we're looking at a few new properties. The flips, we just put one out depending on when this show airs. We just put another one up. Yesterday was back-to-back from the other one that we just did. But, it's all part of... we talked about it heavily today, is being authentic, being yourself, and the rest, guys, just comes down, and it's just amazing. But we're still looking, so anybody that is checking out the show, if there's any property that you want us to review or anything, please submit it to me. Also, we're doing lending, so if it's for real estate, please reach out. I would love to partner with you on some real estate stuff. And we'll do the private lending, so please reach out. We'll make things work. When you unite with people, there's a force to that. So shout out to everybody that has already been doing that with us. And so again, if you're looking for some lending, private lending, please reach out. We're willing to partner up on some real estate stuff. And then other than that, guys, don't forget, grab The Power of Being Uncomfortable. It is out everywhere. And don't forget the audio version. Again, people just remind me to remind everybody I am a musician, so it is on Audible. So go listen to the audio version, and I definitely did something different. If you're looking for that motivation to get you off the couch, listen to the audio version, guys. I'm telling you that right now. And follow me for my music, guys. Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music. I'm dropping a lot of Spanish stuff right now, and just... I'm just having fun, guys. Like that's the thing, is have fun with everything that you do. Truly fall in love with it, and it's not work. Like today, guys, is a Saturday. Shout out to Carlos for doing it on a Saturday, and I was looking forward to it. Like, we just came back from my youngest soccer game, And then I came straight to just shoot this podcast. I've been looking forward to it, and it just doesn't feel like work when you do what you love. And I want you guys to really think of that, those of you who are listening. But I think I am ready, guys. I can't wait for you guys to listen to this podcast. Please make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Make sure you follow me on social media. Follow Carlos Reyes. It's a life-changing show, guys, and we have some uncomfortable conversations on this one, just like we're gonna bring out. But Carlos just like murdered this thing. It was literally fire after fire. So I'm excited. Make sure you guys subscribe. Give us that 5-star review wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. And with that being said, guys, let's go. Think like a millionaire and hustle like you're broke. Become that person first. And with that being said, here is Carlos Reyes. Vámonos. Welcome to the $1 Million Hustle Podcast, baby, where you, my friend, are going to learn to think like a millionaire and hustle like you're broke. And guys, when I say think like a millionaire, it is not about the money. We've said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again. It is about the person that it takes to get to that point. And today is literally the example of that. I can't wait. Like I've been looking forward to this for a while. And on the other line, I have Carlos Reyes. Man, how you doing, brother?
What's up, brother? I love what you just said. I literally, so one thing that I want everybody that's listening to know, I wish I would have started doing this years and years and years ago. I journal. Right. I carry this thing everywhere, brother. I carry it. It literally sits by my bed. Because when you begin to become so clear, right, with everything that you have going on in your life and you get to reflect, downloads will come at random times and you just got to be ready to put pen to the paper. Literally, Billy Podcast, 7-figure earner, question mark. 7-figure earner, question mark, 7-figure person. You said something. You're absolutely right, brother. Everybody's so focused on becoming a 7-figure earner, right? But what people don't understand and don't know is you got to become a 7-figure person. You got to become a 7-figure individual, a 7-figure human being before you can ever produce 7 figures. You know what I mean? And even if there's a lot of people out there that will be able to produce 7 figures, but if they don't become the right person, if they didn't become the right person to produce those 7 figures, they're going to lose it quicker than they gained it.
Wow.
They won't keep it. So I just wanted to start out by saying that. You said something powerful. I'm like, all right, I'm putting pen to the paper. And you're absolutely right, brother. Anybody that's listening, I just want everybody to know that it is possible. It is possible, right? Look at this. This picture sits right here in my desk, right here. This is me, and this is my mother in Mexico. This is in Hermosillo, Sonora, right? This picture sits right here, right in my desk, all day, every day. You know what I mean? And anybody that's listening, I want everybody to know that it's possible to achieve your dreams in this life. And this life is all you need. This time that you're given by God is all you need, because what you got to do is you're going to have to, first and foremost, the first step, bro, is to want something more than what you're getting in a healthy way, though, right? It's not about the Lambos and the jets and the watches and all. No. You got to want something more for you, and you got to want something more for others, the people around you, right? Your family, your friends, whatever. But you got to want it for you first. That's the first thing. And that's why I always talk about this. I don't know if you ever heard me say this, something that I learned from my mom, and we're going to get into my story in a little bit, right? But something that I learned from this woman, just from watching this woman, right? As a child, as her firstborn, as the oldest, right? Is I learned these 5 things from my mother, and I call it my mom's 5-step success formula. Literally, like it's not Tony Robbins, it's not, Grant Cardone. No, it's my mom's 5-step success formula, right? And when I talk about you got to want something for yourself more, like you got to want a better life, better than what you're getting. Well, that's called vision. right? So step one is vision. You got to have the vision. You got to see past today. You got to see past your current situation, right? Vision. Number two, commitment. I think commitment, I think 90 to 95, 97% of people, they're just not committed. They're not committed to themselves, right? They're not committed to their health, mind, body, spirit. They're not committed to what they want in life. They're not. They want it, but they don't really want it, because if they really wanted it, they would be committed to it. You get what I'm saying?
Seriously.
They're not committed to their jobs. Even when I was an employee in corporate America, man, like I worked that job like I owned the place. You get what I'm saying? My mom, she was a dishwasher. She was food prep, at cafeterias. Man, my mom, I was like, damn, like, is she the owner? Like, she worked like she was the owner. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So commitment. Commit to everything you got in your life right now. If you have a wife, commit to her. If you have a girlfriend that you've been with for 10 plus years, hello, commit, right? Put a ring on it, commit. We don't commit. Society teaches us today that it's inconvenient to commit to anything.
Wow.
Really?
Powerful. Woo.
Really? So commitment's number two. Number three is sacrifice. I watched this woman, right, leave. Can you imagine? She left her children in Mexico. Can you imagine, brother? Do you have kids?
Oh, yeah. 2 girls, man.
Can you imagine having to leave your girls for 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, this is the 90s. There's no social media. There's no FaceTime.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? There's no MySpace. There's no, right?
I mean, even, I want to say even cell phones,
there's no cell phones.
Like home phones, maybe.
It's just,
Man, yeah.
So imagine being a mom and having to leave your 2 children that you carried for 9 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she knew it. She was committed to the vision she had for her children to have a better life than what we were getting. You see how it all circles back around, right? So she made the sacrifices, brother. She, as a single mom, because she left my father in the city of Hermosillo because he was abusive. He was a drug addict. He was up to no good. He was doing coke. He was beating, he was beating her physically. Left him, went down to Guaymas, Sonora, which is about an hour and a half from Hermosillo. Left us with our grandparents. She sacrificed herself, almost lost her life crossing over, right? Worked the fields every day, sun up, sun down, sent money, saved money. Then 2 years later came back and literally carried my brother the way she's carrying me, carried my brother with her left hand and dragged me with her right hand across a sewer canal in San Isidro, California, which is next to Tijuana, right? Can you imagine? It's like the San Diego area, right? Going through a sewer canal. It's like, the sewer canal, like it goes this way, and then there's a sewer, right? Literally going through the sewer canal. We get to San Diego, Escondido. It's called Escondido. The little city's called Escondido. And, you could only imagine, bro, like the sacrifices that she had to make to even get us there.
Yeah.
Right. And, it was hard for me as a little boy. I'm a child. I'm a child at this point, and I'm going to sleep every single night, putting her picture under my pillow and just crying. So I had like abandonment issues, fear, anxiety. Like if you look at my finger here, this finger here, it's a little bigger, like the skin, right? The skin's a little bigger here because as a little boy, I used to just be so nervous. I didn't eat my nails. I would just like chew on my finger because I was just filled with fear and anxiety. then can you imagine that, bro? Survival as a little child. I'm already in survival mode because my mom's not here, bro. The trauma that caused, you know what I mean? So anyway, sacrifices, that's number 3. That, you know, we're vision, commitment, sacrifice. Number 4 is work ethic. Like I told you, I've seen this woman, man, I've seen her work like a Chinese person, 2-3 jobs, 2-3 hour in a 24-hour period. She would probably sleep 2-3, maybe 4 hours on a good day, just to put food on the table, just to pay the $100 electricity bill. You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know, the $100 electricity bill.
Yeah.
The $350, $400 in rent we were paying on this little shack, you know, and here in America, right? So anyway, I saw her, you know, work her butt off, man, work ethic. And then number 5, perseverance. She never gave up. She never gave up. I never saw her ever give up on anything.
Wow.
Anything. She never gave up. So these are things that I learned as a man, as a son. I learned these things from just watching her hustle and watching her ambition and watching how strong this woman was, you know? So
and I want to say, Carlos, that is why I relate so much to your story, brother. I'm from El Salvador, literally 3 years. My mom left us the same way. So I just want to like give you your flowers, man, because the first time I ever heard you speak, this was in New Jersey, I believe, or no, it was with Flippin' and Jay, actually. I think Miami,
Atlanta?
actually.
No.
Shout out to Flippin' and Jay. That story like caught my attention. And at that time, brother, I wasn't a U.S. citizen. And
I know, I remember.
Thank God now, you know, fast forward 3-4 years later, I am. And literally that's why I fell in love with your story, bro. And I thank you for those 5 pointers, man. That is like some fire already. We haven't even started, guys. And with that being said, Carlos, can you real quick just give us, obviously we definitely heard the beginning. How did you end up in Arizona?
Well, brother, so that's a great question. We were in Escondido, and like I told you, it was just my mom, myself, my brother, and we didn't do very well economically, right? When I got to San Diego, I attended the 2nd grade, and it was funny because I didn't speak English, right, in the 2nd grade, and there was people making fun of me, obviously, you know, wetback, you know, whatever you want to call it. You know, border hopper, you know, whatever. And bro, the people that were making fun of me were my own people. They were Chicanos, they were Latinos that were born in America. I was like, what? I'm like, right. I'm like, you look like me. Why are you making fun of me? Right. So anyway, in the 2nd grade, you know, I got tired of being made fun of, and because I didn't speak English. So I personally, I don't even know the vision of God or whatever, but I talked to one of my teachers in the 2nd grade as a little boy, and I was like, hey, I need to learn English. So then I started staying after school, bro, for a ESL program, and then I learned English in the 2nd grade. Well, the summer of the 2nd grade and the 3rd grade, right? I start my 3rd grade. I start the 3rd grade, and by that point, bro, unfortunately, my mom had ran out of funds, and like we were so broke that I remember this one weekend we were literally living under a tree for 1 weekend. We had a couch, we had clothes under a tree, and my mom said, we got to go back. We got to go back. We don't have money to get into any shelter. We need a shelter. You know, we got to go back. So then we go back. We go back to Mexico. Right, one of her friends, his name was Jaime. He had like this little black Nissan pickup, and we throw whatever we could in the back. He's taking us to Tijuana, where our family's going to meet us to take us back, right? And at this point, by the way, you know, we already know the kind of judgment and the kind of criticism that we're going to receive from our family in Mexico, because everybody was telling my mom not to do it. Everybody was like, no, what are you doing? No, you got kids. Where are you going? No, I've seen what America looks like. I'm going to go make a better life for my kid. You know what I'm saying? They had never seen America. My mom had, right? So anyway, we're going back and I'm just crying, man. I'm just bawling in the back seat. And my mom just turns around and looks at me and says, hey, don't worry about it. We'll be back. We're not going to stay there too long. My mom was already, she's a visionary, bro. Mom was already thinking, we're going to regroup and we're going to bounce back. And she's already given me the game plan. She's like, I'm going to work cleaning the resort rooms in San Carlos. You're going to find, bro, at this point, I'm like 9, 10 years old. She's like, you're going to find whatever job you can find and we're going to put our money together. And I got friends in Phoenix that said that it's much more economical, much more affordable in Phoenix. So, bro, for like another year, you know, I'm bagging groceries. I don't know if you've ever seen the ID of me as a voluntary grocery bagger, right? So I'm bagging groceries, and at this point, remember, I now speak a little English. I speak some English. Well, this retail company, I'm gonna pull it up. This retail store, it's kind of like a Walmart, right? It's called La Ley. You ever heard of La Ley?
No,
Right?
the name, yeah, but no.
Yeah, La Ley. So this little retail store, you know, there's a lot of Americans because in this retail store, it's like about 15, 20 minutes away from the resort, which is San Carlos, where my mom's cleaning hotel rooms. Bro, how funny it is. We used to take the same bus, right? I used to get off and she used to drive. She used to still be on that bus for another 15, 20 minutes. That like her and I were going to work when I was 9 years old. How crazy is that, right?
Seriously.
So there it is. Look, this is me. This is my grocery bagger. Look at this. Empacador voluntario. Look at that.
Wow.
That was me being a little girl. Look at that little boy bagging groceries already. I was already bagging groceries, right? So we put the game plan together, bro. And my mom's she's earning about $30 a week. I'm earning about $12 a day. Because I now remember, man, how amazing, like how accomplished I felt. And that's why I've always liked to work, because I remember just like, you know, the bread's coming in, right? We got the bread separate, you know what I'm saying? Eggs could go on top. Bread can go on top of the eggs, right? We got the gallon of milk coming in, double bag that. You see, like I still remember all this, you know, groceries are bagged by themselves. Anything that can get squished gets bagged by itself. And then I would like, you know, I got this little apron, got this little hat, boom, put it in the cart, take it to the trunk, put it away nicely, just, you know, nicely, like almost Tetris style. And then boom, tip time, baby. You know what I'm saying? $1, $2. So I was making more money at 9 years old than my mom was making. And we put our money together and we sent her on a bus to Phoenix, Arizona. She got amnesty. So she got paperwork through working the fields in California.
Okay.
So she came over to Phoenix legally the second time. Legally, right? And this time, here goes another like year and a half, man, because I remember I attended the second part of the 3rd grade in Guaymas, the 4th grade, the 5th grade, the 6th grade. So that was about 2 years actually, right? So I attended 4 more grades in Mexico. And then in the 7th grade, the summer between the 6th and the 7th grade, my mom's like, all right, we're going to do this right. You're coming first. I'm going first. I'm the oldest, right? She needs me. You're coming first. And then she leaves my brother down there. And she's like, all right, let's go. You know, brings me up to Nogales, Sonora, which is the border of Nogales and Arizona. And then she pays this dude, right? She's like, she put $25, bro, right? It's a great investment. I talked about that on stage. I'm like, that's the best investment my mom ever made, $25. Talk about 1 million ROI, right? Return on investment. So, man, that's funny. It's like she really did.
Seriously.
That was the best investment she ever made.
And you know, it's so funny that you say that, Carlos, because I feel like people get so caught up in what they want, right? Like they want everything now. And I feel like you just described what patience is. It's like the one moment that can change your life, and it could be 5 years from now, 10 years later, you're going to be like, whoa, you know what? It was that moment. And I feel like we all have those moments. So I love that. Keep preaching, bro.
Thank you, brother. She paid this dude $25. He was a coyote. For people that know what a coyote is, he's a human smuggler. He smuggles people into the country. And, you know, it's like, hey, son, remember, I'm about to be in the 7th grade, so I'm a little older now. probably 12, 13 around there. And she's like, hey, you need to listen to this man. You know, when he tells you to run, you run. When he tells you to hide, when he tells you to duck, when he tells you to crawl, when he tells you to jump, you jump. He's gonna take you through this fence, and we're gonna meet at the McDonald's in Nogales, and then we're gonna put you in a shuttle with me, and we're going up. So sure thing, bro. She crosses, and then I follow this dude. It's literally just me and him. There's not like, he doesn't have like a whole pack, right? It's just me and him, because he's probably doing this all day. He's just one at a time, just wow, wow, wow. And $25 back in like 97 was a pretty good amount of money. You know, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it was probably like, I'm going to Google that when we get off, is like, because inflation, right? Like right now we're at a 6.5% around there inflation. So what was $25 in 1997?
Seriously.
Right. Also, it's probably
Yeah.
a couple grand, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, sure thing, man. He gets me through this little hole in the fence. I meet my mom. We come up to Phoenix. She starts my paperwork process in 97. And it was a long, expensive and extensive process, you know, right? Jesus Christ, bro. Like work permit, residence, then 5-6 years later, you know, citizenship, and you got to walk the fine line, or, you know, no DUIs, no felonies, no missing, nothing. You got to be you got to be the most productive member of society if you want this paperwork, right?
Yeah.
So that's how we got to Phoenix, man. And sure thing, bro. You know, got to Phoenix, and man, I started just same thing, following her footsteps, you know, working my butt off. Her and I worked together. Bro, I was 13, 14 years old. I was already at job sites, you know, between the 7th and the 8th grade summer. I was already at these people, these investors. I was because I was always kind of a bigger kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that age, I already looked like almost like a man. Like I looked like I was in my early 20s, maybe, right? And these investors, you know, I'm working for these investors, and all I'm doing is I'm carrying a wheelbarrow. They're renovating houses, bro. You see that you connect the right? I became a house flipper, right? So they're renovating these houses. I'm just going around in a wheelbarrow, and I'm just cleaning up, and I'm throwing, I'm cleaning up, and I'm throwing. I did that the entire summer between the 7th and the 8th grade. And that was like my first job here in America, and I was getting paid cash, right? And that's how I bought my shoes, and I bought my uniforms for school. Like I was already, bro, at that age, you know, 7th, 8th grade, man, I was already making my own money, and I have been making my own money since that age, bro. I never stopped working here in America since that time.
Wow.
And you know, bro, I once I got my paperwork and everything, I started working in corporate America. And you know, I had all this ambition, I had all this drive, I had this like natural energy and leadership, and I love people and people love me. So I worked my way up very easily through the, you know, corporate ladder. And then, you know, I got away from being me. I got away from that immigrant mentality that I had, the you know, the inconvenience, right? The uncomfortability. I became very comfortable here in America. And I felt to comfortability here for about 10 years. And one day I was up for a position that was going to pay me my first ever 6-figure a year earnings, right? And I'm up for this position, and they politically screwed me over. And then that led me to like depression, and I literally locked myself in a room for like 2 weeks. And I was just so depressed and so down, because I had worked for this company for over a decade. And I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm next in line. And politically, they just gave it to a guy. Like I was ranked number 1 for that job. They gave it to a guy that was ranked 17th. It was just political. They were just like, nah, you're a threat. I'm threatened by you. I'm going to give it to the person that I'm not threatened by. All good, because you know what that did? This was about 2012, 2013. You know what that did? I went through this like God broke me. I went through this depression of 2 weeks, and my mind just all came back. I'm like, that's it. I'm going to go do something for myself.
Wow.
I'm going to go do something for myself. And that's when I started real estate wholesaling back in 13.
Man, and, Rich, I love the picture that you share every time, bro, with it's you with all your
signs.
handwritten signs. Yep.
Yes, sir. That's
a classic right there, brother.
Bro, that's how my journey started, my brother. And I'll find it for you. But there it is. Check it out.
Amazing.
That's how
That
my
picture
journey
every
started, my
time.
brother.
That's
That's how my
amazing.
journey started.
And
And now we got all this, right? Look at this is my home office. Look at this.
love it.
You know,
Wow.
this is my home office. Bro, my home office is probably as big as like the houses that
apartment.
we used to live in. You know what I mean? Yeah, for
Wow.
real. For real.
Seriously. What,
For real.
Carlos, what do you think? Because I've read this before, and you know, there's also studies that show that immigrants are bound to even do bigger things sometimes. What do you
Yep.
think? What is the mindset behind that? What's the psychology? Like, why? I think I know why, but what's your point of view on that?
You know, remember when I told you I keep my journal everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Look what I'm writing down. My home office is bigger than any space.
I love that.
Any space we lived in growing up.
Wow, seriously. You know, and
God,
it's funny.
God
it
is
reminds
good.
me of like the times me, my mom, and my sister used to live in one bedroom, and then we rented, or we had another family living in the second bedroom and another family in the living room, just so we could afford it in California, actually. So, man, that's very powerful, Carlos. I'm writing that down too.
That's why, bro. Are you keeping a journal next to you all the time now?
Oh yeah. That literally every time.
You better be going through those journals pretty easy. I'm going through my journals. Like my wife just got me this journal. Literally, check it out. On 2/19/23, she says, "Husband." Look at right here. She wrote it. She's a husband. You are the most amazing human ever. I love you beyond words. And then it says your wife. 2/19. I literally just got this journal 6 days ago.
Wow.
Because I go through journals like, you know what I'm saying? So the immigrant
That's
mentality.
amazing.
Thank you, brother. The immigrant mentality, bro, it's a mindset of endurance. It's a mindset of overcoming. It's a mindset of dreaming. It's a mindset of pain and wanting the complete opposite. Like you're born on one side of the spectrum, right? And you're poor, you're dirt. Like when I say dirt, you're dirt poor. Most immigrants are dirt poor, right? You're born on this side, and you see this whole other side. First of all, most immigrants don't even know this side exists, right? So that's the first thing. It's like being aware of it, being conscious of it.
Yo, we'll be right back to this great episode of the $1 Million Hustle podcast. Before we continue, I want you to go grab a copy of my book, The Power of Being Uncomfortable. It is out on Amazon. It is out on Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com, Target.com, and everywhere else books are available. The great news, guys, is you could go to BillyTheKid.com and grab an autographed copy. That is right. I'm going to mail you an autographed copy right now. Audiobook is also available on Audible, and everywhere else audiobooks are available. So go listen to it. Go grab yourself an autographed copy, and I'll see you on the other side, baby. And now back to this great episode of the $1 Million Hustle podcast.
So being aware of it, being conscious of it. All right. And most immigrants, it's normal. It's this world that we live in, this dirt poverty, it's normal. And most immigrants, even though they're poor, a lot of people are happy. Ignorance is bliss, right? When you don't know, you don't know. Sometimes it's better, you're better off not knowing. But when you do, when someone does show you, right? Some, not all, some immigrants will say, wow, that really exists. And we've already been through so much, right? Our risk for pain, our tolerance for pain, our tolerance for risk is so high. Bro, we have such an advantage over every other human being that has known comfortability, that has known convenience, right? That has had support, that has had love. Think about it, bro. You throw me in the wilds and you throw somebody that grew up in a sheltered, convenient, right, supportive home, you throw us both in the wild, who do you think is gonna survive, right? That's where that's the immigrant's edge right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna write that down too.
Man, that's I'm feeling that right there, brother. with all the pain, Carlos, like, because I here's the thing. I feel like most people don't even know trauma is a thing, or let's be honest, most men think that it's nothing, right? Like, no, we're men, right? Like we're not supposed to feel things. And you know, you're not gonna get financially or anywhere if you don't fix that. And I know you have been huge about that, and just hearing the story of you coming to America, I mean, but there's so many chapters of your life where it was nothing but trauma, right? Like, and so how have you healed from that? What are some steps that you've taken, and now to, because we talked about it over the phone too, man, and I just want to give you your flowers. Like, there's this, not that you weren't shining before, you've been doing your thing, but the last year or two, like, you've had this other shine that you could tell you're on this next path now, you're on this next journey.
Thank you, brother.
So how does somebody heal from all that?
You're going to have to remember what I said. I said, you want to be a 7-figure earner, you got to be a 7-figure person. You want to be an 8-figure earner? I'm already, praise God, I'm already an 8-figure producer, 8-figure, you know what I'm saying? I'm not an 8-figure earner, but I'm an 8-figure producer. My organization, because I have an organization that has subsidiaries, has 12 other companies that it owns and operates. All of them, or most of them, I would say, are multiple 7-figure companies, right? So my parent company, which is All In Nation, is the umbrella to all these other companies, and all these other companies, medical, softwares, private equity, BPO company, real estate company, right? So we're already 8-figure producers. And this year we're actually shooting for $100 million in generated revenue for the organization. That's what we're shooting for, right? If we don't hit it, we don't hit it. But guess what? If I fall short and our organization produces $70 million, I'm not gonna be crying, and you know what I'm saying, right?
Love it.
So you gotta be a 7-figure person before you're a 7-figure earner. You gotta evolve and grow and mature as to become an 8-figure earner. You gotta become and evolve it to being an 8-figure person. Now, you want to be a 9-figure person? Well, guess what, right? It's gonna take double the work that it took you to get to those first 2 breaking points. So that's what people need to understand. Take care of this, and take care of this, and take care of this, mind, body, and spirit. Take care of this right here, your body, your mind, your spirit, being able to produce and attract those relationships, the clarity to have the visions that will create opportunities, right? Most people are so filled with junk, distractions, pain, trauma. That was me, right? That's the initial question, is how did you? Well, you know, brother, in 2019, it's funny you say that. In 2019, we were already producing, you know, $10-12 million a year in like revenue. And most people, like, they would be happy about that on the revenue side, but on the physical side, I weighed 280 pounds. I was a good father, but I wasn't a present dad. There's a difference. Oh yeah, I provide clothes, shelter, food, not, you know, Cadillac Escalade for them to feel safe in, all that, big home. That doesn't matter. Right. So I was a good father, but I wasn't a present dad. I was a good husband. I was not cheating on my wife. I was providing, but I wasn't a present soulmate, significant other, you know what I mean? Other half. I wasn't. And my girls, my wife and my children, my 2 girls that I have a 10-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old daughter, and my wife, they would constantly try to show me love, and I just couldn't feel it. There was this huge, like, this block, right? I just couldn't feel it. And in 2019, I'm like, man, I started asking these questions. How come I'm not happy? Right? How come I'm miserable? How come I can't feel their love? Is this it? I have money now. I have a Rolls Royce. I have $1 million property. I have everything. Like, I have watches and stupidity that, like, I have everything. Like, why am I miserable? Why am I 280 pounds? Why am I numbing my pain through alcohol and food?
Mm.
Why? I started just asking, right? So that's the first thing, is start asking questions, because the
Wow.
mind directs its focus to questions. Why do I feel this way? So then what I started doing, bro, I have I have like an addicted personality, or
Mm-hmm.
addictive personality, an obsessive personality. Once I started asking those questions, I just started, and then I started hiring mentors. I was paying $10,000-$15,000 a month, and just like my spiritual mentor, personal development mentors, because I'm like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I started, paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to mentors, which I don't regret $1.
Mm.
And I started doing the work. I started investing
Mm-hmm.
into myself, into my personal development journey, and I started reading books like this Hidden Messages in Water, Hidden Messages in Water, which talks about our thoughts and how we're water, and water has memory. So we have to be conscious of the thoughts and the words and the emotions. You see what I'm saying? So I started going
Mm-hmm.
down this path, right? I started just reading, this is my favorite book of all time here, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
And it's funny. I was just gonna ask you that, Carlos. It's funny. I usually do this at the beginning, but we've been spitting so much fire. What is one book that has
That changed
basically
my
changed
life.
your whole life? So why that book, Carlos?
Brother, this changes. Man, I think this book is going to be one of those timeless books, bro, that just goes on forever. Like, it teaches you exactly how rich people think and what rich people do.
Mm.
It teaches you habits. Rich people play the game to win. Poor people play the game to not lose. Scarcity.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these are like these wealth files. Look at this. I highlighted this. What I modeled around money was their way. I choose my way. Touch your head and say, I have a millionaire mind. So it's like declaration, affirmations. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is, bro, are you kidding me? Like, this is
Man.
my, look at it. It's just
Whew.
highlights.
Full
And
of
this is,
highlights.
you know what, brother? I'm going to try to, this book has changed my life forever. And don't get me wrong, bro, Atomic Habits, right?
Mm-hmm.
This book is woo. You know what I mean? Like, Power versus Force, Think and Grow Rich. You know what I'm saying?
That's the one I was just gonna show
you know
you.
what I mean? Like, brother. Oh my God! Last year, let me show you something. Let me show you something, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna appreciate this. Let me go into my Kindle. This is my Kindle app. Right now, I'm actually reading a book called "Buy Back Your Time" by one of my personal friends. It's funny, bro. Now the authors are my friends.
It's funny. Shout out to VCG, one of my members of the mastermind. He always says, "I used to hang with crooks. Now I hang with people that write books."
I love that,
Yeah, seriously.
bro. Yeah, like this guy, Dan Martell. I love this human being, and this is one of the best books out there right now. It's called "Buy Back Your Time," bro. I'm telling you, this is the best book I've read in probably the last 6 to 12 months. Watch this. And look how many books I read last year. Watch this. If you go to your insights, which is reading insights.
Mm-hmm.
So I've read, last year, I read 32 books, 32 titles read. Last year, I read 32 books. I'm telling you, bro, get this book, Buy Back Your Time, by my good friend, Dan Martell.
Got it.
Bro, I'm blown away by this dude's book. It's one of those books. It's one of those books. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
You went through this journey then,
this personal development journey, to start healing, what this internal pain is, this internal trauma that just was, no matter how rich I ever got, or how it was just never going to allow me to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
It was never going to allow me to feel joy. I became a multi-millionaire off of pride, ego, drive, pain, trauma, scarcity. Think about that.
Seriously.
Which is what everybody has going on right now. So you can become a multimillionaire being all messed up. You can, but you won't stay there. Woo. And you won't grow. You see, you won't stay there and you will not grow.
Wow.
I needed to heal all that. That's cool. Yeah. I forced power versus force. I forced my way to become a multimillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
But if I truly wanted what, like, the best things that this life has, and the best things that this life has is not money, bro. There's no amount of money at this point that you can give me that will change my life. I'm already there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no, like, I sold my Rolls Royce. I don't need it. I got a Porsche Taycan Turbo. It's a electric car now, right?
And it's funny. It reminds you of that saying, what is it? Rich is loud, wealth is
I'm chilling, bro. But you know what I am doing, right? Like you said, you know what I am doing? I'm buying companies now.
Mm-hmm.
I
saw that you posted about that, and it even to a whole other lower level of, there's so many people that are buying chains, right? They're buying all this BS, and it's the same amount of money that you can use to buy something simple like life insurance, right? Like, don't make excuses. Anybody listening, like, enough with the excuses. Listen to this man. Like, he literally had it all, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, this means nothing because we're building wealth. And it's funny, even the $1 Million Hustle, I'm trying to teach the people that haven't gotten to that milestone. And even, you know what, Carlos, as we both know, even making 50,000 could be something major for somebody out there, 100,000. So that's what this is all about, guys. Those of you who are listening, and again, instead of buying those brand new Jordans or all that BS, buy the next investment. It could be as simple as getting life insurance. Like, it doesn't have to be this massive thing. And with patience, Carlos, I want to hear a little more about that, because it's something that I get asked a lot myself, doing what I'm doing now, mastermind coaching and stuff. And in general, that's one of whenever I do coffee meets or anything, what do people need to realize with patience? Because patience is success to me. Because in my mind, Carlos, I'm already in this other level. You feel the same way, but I feel like once you acquire some kind of success is when you start feeling like, what, I can do this. And God willing, everything will come at the end. You mentioned attract in there, which is a huge, it's so funny. I don't focus on like, okay, what's my next thing I got to do? No, all my schedules around, for example, in the morning, I'm working on myself. Like, I put it on do not disturb. I'm just like in my zone. And sometimes, whether it's my construction company, the investments, like whatever it is that I got going on, hey, sorry, I'm not taking a call until 9 a.m. That's when I start my day, maybe 10 at some days. So how important does that coordinate with everything? Because you're the perfect example of that.
I'm a very routine driven individual, right? And we'll get into routine, but let's talk about patience. You know what's funny, bro? I'm not a patient person. I don't like to wait in lines. Ask my wife. But you know what? When it comes to business, right? And when it comes to people I love, I am the most patient individual. But when it comes to anything else, I'm not patient. Wow. I'm not. Ask my wife, right? But when it comes to my daughters, but when it comes to building my businesses, bro, right? Like yesterday, I hired my second C-suite executive. So what people don't understand what the C-suite level is, right? COO, Chief Operating Officer, CEO, Chief Executive Officer, CTO, Chief Technical Officer, CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the highest level of employees that you're ever going to be able to hire. These people make multiple six figures a year in your company, in your organization. And I just hired my second one. The guy that I hired, Peter Bergreen, he took a company in Seattle. It was a nationwide company. It was called Crown Distribution. He took a company from $24 million in ARR, which is annual recurring revenue, to $150 million
Wow.
Brother, this guy became CEO of that company in 1997 when I was coming into this country. And now he works with
Wow.
me. And now he works with me.
Wow.
And now he works with me.
Jeez.
How powerful is that?
Seriously.
So I had to be patient, right? It's been 10 years for me, 10 years of grinding. And I've gone through, I've gone through highs, I've gone through lows. My business, these things are called business breaking points, right? Like my business has looked different. Like your business breaking points from 0 to 5 million are going to look different from 5 to 15 million. And then from 15 million to 40 to 50 is going to look different. And then from 50. But the beautiful part is the hardest breaking point is from 0 to 5 million. Bro, it took me, let's see, 4 years to get from 0 to 5. And then it took me 2 years to get from 5 to 15.
Wow.
Half the time. So now you see why does it get faster, right? 0 to 5, it took me twice as long than it took me to get from 5 to 15 mil.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, right, you're developing systems, automation, people, right? Like, look, it's funny. I was doing the 4 business quadrants, marketing, sales. In my opinion, these are the first 2 more important things in order for your business to start, gaining some capital, some cash flow. Then you start to, put your operations department, your finance department, right? It's funny. I just have this laying around here, right? Like literally, I don't know what I was doing. I had a Zoom call maybe with someone, but you really start to scale very fast, but you got to be patient. What you do right now, you might not see it until like 3, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months down the line in your business. You got to be patient and you got to have faith. You got to have faith. Most people don't have enough faith. Therefore, they grow impatient and then therefore they quit.
Wow. Preach, brother. Jesus.
Bro, look at this cup. It warms my coffee up. Look, you see this? Look at this.
That's amazing.
Like this cup warms it. I got mugs that warm the coffee up now, bro.
Talk about coming up, brother. Jesus.
I'm coming up, man.
From a shack to that. Jesus.
Exactly, bro.
Amen,
Praise
man.
God, man. Praise God.
So you hang out with some great people, and you've done that on purpose, which it's almost like a 2-part question. Basically, which we'll talk about. The next one is you're big on kind of on social media. One of my favorite things is you talk a lot about basically, hey, like with people, like, hey, if I agree you, I agree you. And then people, there's jealousy, hate, which we'll touch on that. But the other part of it is the amazing people you're hanging out with nowadays. What is the best piece of advice that you've ever received from somebody above you?
I love that. You know, it's funny, bro. You want to see some funny stuff? You'll love this. Check it out. Bro, my man, like literally Ed Milet saying love you. Watch this. Look at this. Look at this. Me and Brad Lee going back and forth. Right?
Wow.
You see, like, I think what people like them appreciate, bro, they appreciate my personal internal power, right? Some of the best advice that I've ever received is guard your reputation with your life.
Wow.
Think about that, right? What does your reputation consist of? Your reputation consists of your morals, your integrity, your core values, your principles, your word. You want to know I call this my family, I call it the Reyes clan, right? It's like the Reyes clan. Right now I'm the clan leader. My daughter, my 10-year-old thinks she's the clan leader, but I'm the clan leader, right? And in my family, we have these 4 principles. And principle number 1 is Reyes do what they say. Principle number 2 is Reyes's always tell the truth. Principle number 3 is Reyes's never give up. And principles number 4 is love God with all your heart and all your mind. Love yourself and others the same way. So those are the 4 principles. So if you think about what I just defined to you, think about it, if you, how many people do you truly know that are those type of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a path. That's a very narrow path. It's a path, and I always say this, that path belongs to the few that are committed and the few that are obedient. So,
wow.
When you start to walk on that narrow path that belongs to the committed few and the obedient few, people like Ed and people like Brad and people like Andy Frisell are like, man, this dude's special. I like this guy. He's authentic. He does what he says he's going to do. I can trust him. I like the way, I like how he honors his wife, his children, his mother, his community. Who wouldn't want to be around that kind of person? Become a person that people want to be around.
Man,
you get what I'm saying? Don't become like become a person that people, brother, and it has nothing to do with pride, nothing with ego. For me, it's personal power. I don't measure people by their success. I don't measure people by their money. I measure people by their personal power, and their personal power comes from how they treat themselves, mind, body, spirit, how they treat their family, how they honor their family, how they love their family, how they connect with their family, how they take care of business, right? With integrity, with ethics, with core values and principles. Like, that's where personal power comes from. Personal power, and that power can only come from the connection, being connected, right? Straight to being a brand, so being connected to the vine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
wow.
God gives you that power. God gives you that obedience. God gives you that commitment, and when you're doing that, bro, you radiate, you glow differently, you walk differently. And then you go from a place of a position of need to a position of desire and abundance. I have operated in a position of need. Man, I need to be on the biggest stages. I need to be on the biggest podcast. I need to make this amount of money. I need for people to know who I am. That's need. Need comes from ego.
Wow.
Pride and ego, right? Desire comes from soul. You see what I'm saying? Need is flesh. Desire is spiritual.
Wow.
So I made that shift of, hey, bro, Grant Cardone, I don't need to do business with you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And now, if our core values align, and my spirit desires to do business with you, then we'll do business. I don't need to do business with you. I don't need to be on your stages, right? And this is something that I would tell Grant. I don't give a shit if the guy's worth $1 billion. I don't. You don't want to be in a position of need. Come from a place of power, of love, of joy, of harmony. That's the energy you give to me. And that's the reason, that's one of the biggest reasons, two biggest reasons why we're on this podcast. One, you have supported me. Two is I love your energy, bro. And I respect that, because I don't measure people by their success or the money they make. I measure people by their power, their energy.
Wow. And it's something massive that we've talked about. Like I said, I go back to even just the first time, because I've seen you on stage 3-4 times now. I went to your event, which was amazing, by the way. I'm looking forward to it this year. Yeah, Freedom, man. It's funny because I feel the same way. Even the first time I saw you, bro, it was that like energy that I just felt it, man. And it's funny, you actually gave me a shout out. I was sitting like right there in the front, and you were like, man, like there was something, I don't know. And I'm big with connections, and I feel like authentic, like that is probably I've had a whole class on that for my mastermind, because I feel like if you're not being authentic, nothing's going to work, right? Like it just won't. And people will catch up to it sooner or later. So like all those principles, bro, the Reyes family principles are amazing. I got them written down. I can't wait to share it with my family.
Create your own, brother.
Yeah.
Create your own.
Seriously.
And start pouring into. We're out here pouring into the world. Something my wife told me 3 years ago, because I was already pouring into thousands of people across the nation, right? Praise God.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I was just obviously a vessel, and God was using me to deliver and to pour and to pour into other people and to educate. And my wife one day here in the house, she's very like emotional, and she just says, hey, when are you going to start pouring into your children?
Ooh.
You're
Wow.
pouring into all these strangers. Like, do we got to pay you money for you to pour into our daughters? I was like, what do you say to that, bro? Right? Like,
wow, seriously.
As a husband, what do you say to that, bro? Like, damn, babe, you're right. Shift. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So now my number one goal is like, I'm going to pour into my children more than I pour into anybody else.
And I'm going to say this, Carlos, like this just shows your authenticity, because most people are scared to talk about the shack that they grew up at, right? Like, or with my story, like, man, I'm happy as hell sharing that. I grew up with no electricity, with no water. Like we had to figure out
humility.
The water.
Brother, it's humility, and authenticity comes from humility, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no pride, there's no ego, there's just love, there's just gratitude, man.
And they want to almost like up you one, right? Like when there's that there's no authenticity on their side. And let's talk about that a little bit, Carlos. Because with your success, so we talked about the massive people that you're talking to, but how was it leaving that gap of associates? I don't even want to say friends, because what I've noticed in my personal journey is after I put my core values in place, and I'm like, you know what? If they're crossing any of my core values, you're out. Like, I'm not doing it anymore, because I'm on to bigger things. I want to be the best version of me as a father, right? Like a husband and all that great stuff. So, and it's funny because whenever I've done that, then the financial things just grow. Like, oh, boom, here's a better house, right? Boom, here's a better, like there's some alignment to that. And I feel like people need to respect themselves. We need to respect ourselves in order for us to leave that gap. Otherwise, it's that rubber band, right? That if you keep bouncing up, that person is only going to bounce you back down. So what have you done to fight that? And it's tough, because it's a lot of times it's people that we love, but you know what? We got to love them from a distance, right? What are some actions you've taken, and just some wisdom that you could give us with that?
The way I see it, brother, is, so many people have a hard time detaching themselves, right? It's uncomfortable to detach from what you already know, which are your friends and all that. It's uncomfortable for many, but for me, it's like, if you want to be, if you want to come, if you want to eat at my table, right? You either grow with me or we grow apart. That's just it. That's it. I don't have time for the BS. I don't have time for the drama. I don't have time for the toxicity. What is that old saying that simple minds discuss people, right? Great minds discuss ideas, right? Like, what are we shooting for here? What are we doing, man? I don't want, listen, bro, like, I don't want to talk about your aunt and your cousin and your friend and how they're doing it. I don't give a shit. How does that serve me? How does that serve others? It doesn't. So, hey, love you. And we either continue to grow or we grow apart. And then you don't have to make an announcement. Hey, I am no longer being your friend. No.
Yeah.
it naturally begins to happen.
When it's authentic, right? When it's real.
Yeah. It naturally begins to happen.
Wow, that's fire.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people putting you down is just a sign of your increasing success at the end of the day. I've never had anybody that's doing great numbers look down on me and talk smack, right? Like, but it's the opposite.
It's always above.
Yeah.
It's always above. So whenever someone is doing that to you, bro, whenever they're throwing hate, shade, jealousy, envy, just send them love. Hey, brother, love you, man. God bless you. Love you. Just love. And love is stronger than hate, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you keep telling me you hate me and I keep telling you I love you, who do you think is going to win?
It's like you can't fight fire with fire, right? Like
Ooh.
and that's literally what you just described right now. That's fire itself, man.
We'll be right
Before
back.
we continue,
Go subscribe to Billy the Kid YouTube.
that is Billy, DHAKID.
Also, go follow Billy the Kid Music on Spotify
Pandora, Apple Music.
and everywhere else.
Music is available.
And now, back to this great episode. Let's go.
Hopping out the 2-0, we're number 2-4. Feel like Kobe, though I'm winning, need to do more. My mama sorry, college wasn't for me. Street smart, no degree, just like Kobe. Self-made boss with a suit like a mogul. I'm the new era, you see it on my logo.
And then I want to ask you this, bro. Give me your best piece of advice. And anybody listening out there, what's your best piece of advice that you could ever give somebody?
Do what you say you're going to do. Do what you say you're going to do. Do what you say you're going to do. And just remember, right, how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything.
Wow.
Do what you say you're going to do. If you said you're going to get up and you're going to go to the gym at 6:30 in the morning, right? Because, bro, I did my calculations. I'm like, if I start working out at 6:30 in the morning instead of 8:15, I have an extra it was 3.25 hours a day. Watch this. You're gonna freak out. 3.25 hours per day extra in my day that I just cleared or created, right? 3.25 hours a day times 5. Let's just say I go to the gym 5 times, right? Times 4, 65. So 3.25 times 5 is 6. I have an extra 16 hours a week now. You multiply that times 4. I have an extra 65 hours a month, and you multiply that times 12, right? 65 times 12. I have an extra 780 hours a year. And you divide that by 24 hours in a day, I have an extra 32 days that I just created in a 365-day calendar.
And then
Just
not to
because-
mention, Reyes, imagine that now for your whole lifetime. How many years does that
that's
add
just
up
1
to
year.
that you're gonna live?
Multiply that. Let's just say that I live another 40, 50 years. Let's just say 55 years. That's an extra 1,800 days that I just created. And
Wow.
I literally manipulated time, right?
What's that divided by 365?
No, that's an extra one. Oh yeah, 365.
To see how many years.
That's
So
an extra
5 years.
5
Wow.
years.
That you just created to live. Wow. Woo. Let's
You see,
go.
just because I said I'm going to work out at this time, right? So if I do what you say you're going to do, I do that. Look what happens for the rest of my life. And more importantly, bro, what people don't understand is confidence, self-esteem, personal power. It can only come internally, not externally. And how do you create that internally? By doing what you said you're gonna do. Because now, whenever you say, you know what, I'm gonna create a $1 million business, your mind's not gonna sit there and say, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah, right. Because you've already trained it. You've already trained. Like your mind's gonna be like, all right, yeah, I guess he's right. He does everything he says he's gonna do. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. I
Yeah.
love that. Woo. And it's funny you mentioned something there that's very it's huge because people want the external, right? They want the Carlos externally, the and even at the time with the cars, and you've done it all already on stage, whatever, but they don't know what it took to do the internal work. And I feel like that those of you who are listening, guys, that's literally if you have picked up anything, like that's like a sum up. Like you need to work you need to do the work internally so the external will come out. So boom, fire, man. And I do have a question for you. What is happiness, Carlos? What is happiness?
I think happiness, brother, it's being fulfilled. Truly, forget being fulfilled, because that fulfillment is more of a perspective, right? Feeling grateful, living in gratitude every day, I think that's real happiness.
Wow.
Being grateful, living in gratitude every day, that is true happiness, and that has nothing to do with money.
I love that, and it reminds me. I know I've said this on my podcast before of the billionaire that doesn't get out of bed until there's a tear of joy rolling down his cheek in the morning of gratitude. Just imagine how powerful that is. And I practice my thank God right waking up, but you don't get out of bed until there's a tear of joy rolling down your cheek. That's gratitude to the max. With another question I have for you is, what is your 90-year-old version of yourself excited about? What is the 90 version of yourself proud of?
I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to go. I'm on my deathbed, and I'm ready. I'm happy. I'm willing. I'm not asking for more time. I'm not asking for I'm not asking, I'm not going over my regrets. I'm ready to go, man. I'm looking at my beautiful children. God willing, if my wife is around and everybody's just holding my hand, everybody's just like, they're just so filled with love and joy, and respect and honor. Literally, I left a legacy.
Wow.
I left generational a blueprint for the next generation, the next generation, the next generation, the next generation. And I'm ready. I'm content, bro.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, it's funny. I'm sitting here. Look at this. I'm sitting here just doing this. Like, I'm already imagining myself just laying in the bed, literally just grabbing people's hands.
Wow. And imagine how much work that takes. It's not easy to picture yourself. And those of you who are listening, like, it's not easy to picture yourself in that scenario, but
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready to roll.
And,
I gave it everything I had, and I'm so happy. I
that's why
I lived my life the way God wanted me to live my life.
And that is why it's easier for you to do that, man. Wow, that gave me chills, brother. As much as I hate to wrap it up, Carlos, because I could literally talk about this all day, man. It's funny.
Brother.
Our thing is like uncomfortable conversations, and it's conversations that everybody should have with the family, with the people around, and that's what this show is all about, is uncomfortable conversations. I wrote a book called The Power of Being Uncomfortable, and because of that book, I have a question for you: is, out of the many ways, what is one way that comes to your head that you got uncomfortable that paid off?
That I became uncomfortable? Not settling, not settling, like, and not settling in a healthy way, right? Like, instead of focusing on the money, focus on being creative, focus on building, focus on follow through, right? Focus on implementation and execution. When you come from a place like you and I come from, I could have stopped a long time ago. But why don't I? Is it because I want more money? No, I just want to build more shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to build more.
And I truly believe you start dying when you are not fulfilling.
If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not evolving, you're dissolving. And for me, it's like, okay, cool. I built these things. I want to internally challenge myself to build this. And then after that, it might, like Elon Musk, I don't know what he built before PayPal, but after PayPal, he built Tesla. And after Tesla, he built SpaceX. You see, like, you just keep, and that's God willing, that's the path that I want to take. Is I want to build, I want to exit, I want to, I want to evolve, I want to create, I want to build, I want to exit. And then it's like, I just want to do that, if without obviously compromising my health and my family. You know what I mean?
It's like, create a job to quit it, right? I love that.
Yes,
and what is, if you were to look at your younger self, Carlos, What is one piece of advice you would give yourself right now to that kid?
Start sooner, man. Start sooner. Everything else can wait.
Mm.
The partying, the women, the alcohol, it can all wait.
Wow.
Like,
I love that.
like dial it in, be laser focused, start now, start sooner. Because you're going to have to do it anyway. Do it
Mhm.
now, get ahead.
Wow. I love
Yeah.
that. And so the $1 Million Hustle, we talked about it, right? It's like habits, and it's actually like a book that I'm going to do in the future. What are three, and I'm going to ask you this question basically based off of that, is if you do these three things, Carlos, if you were to tell somebody, what are three things that you have to do and you are guaranteed success, you're not going to fail? What are those three steps?
One is take care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, right? Take care of yourself. That should be the first thing you do in the morning. Because if you take care of yourself, everything else will be taken care of, and energy exceeds everything. You have the energy to take care of everything. You have the energy to show up for your businesses. You'll have the energy to show up for your family, right? So take care of yourself, number one, right? Number two is starve all distractions. Starve all the distractions. Brother, all the noise, all the things that don't serve you, that don't serve, your North Star, right? Your North Star is your vision, where you're headed, what you want for yourself and your family. If it doesn't serve you, get rid of it. Starve the distractions. And then number three is get around the right people, right? Follow, consume the people that you want to model after.
Wow.
I don't think you can fail after those three things, man. And by the way, that's the first time someone's ever asked me, and I don't even know if that's the right question, but that's what I'm saying from the heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Those three steps right there. Like this episode, guys, those of you who are listening, like if you take all this, literally it's a blueprint, and you'd be dumb if you if you don't take it to that next level, man. So that, wow.
Yes, sir. And by the way, you gotta send me this, because I'm gonna review this podcast, because this is how it is, brother. Like when, it's like when God speaks, right? When God speaks, it's like you just flow, right? I've only written 2 pages of this podcast, but when you send it to me, I'm actually going to sit down and I'm going to review everything that we spoke about. And then because I can't even tell you you see what I'm saying?
Same. Yeah. Wow.
Because we're in flow, right?
Yes.
We're in flow. So we don't sit there, send me this back. I'm also going to email it, obviously, to my community and blast it out. And I think people are going to really be served by this podcast.
Man, thank you, bro. That's fire. And it's funny you say that, because I literally, bro, I'm looking forward to re-listening into it myself and really focus on you've been dropping fire after fire, man.
Thank you, brother.
One book right now, this second, if you were to write a book this second, right here, right now, with just the conversations and everything, what is the theme and title of that book that comes to your head right away?
I don't, I've been thinking about that, man. It could be something like, the American dream. The American dream isn't dead. The American dream is still alive. Immigrant's edge, right? I don't even I wrote that down. Immigrant's edge, the immigrant's edge, right? Like that's actually a pretty cool title, I don't know.
I like the immigrant mentality too. It's like that.
Yep. So I think, you know what? I might make it a goal this year, no later than next year, to write a book or two, get with the right people, and like, try to really blow it out there, because I think it's time. I have enough now. I have enough, that's the other thing. Some of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give anybody, man, is, people ask me like, man, I've never taken like speaker training. I've never had speaker coaches. Right. And people are like, man, hey, you're a pretty good speaker. You're a pretty good speaker on stage.
I would have never guessed, by the way.
Never, bro.
Wow.
Never. So I tell them, I say, hey, there's 3 principles when it comes to public speaking, right? Everybody always talks about the strategies and the X's and the O's and stuff. And bro, there is some very strategic, polished speakers out there, right? They know, like, even when even like Ed does that, I do that naturally. You know what I mean? One, allow God to take over, right? Give God the platform. Number 2 is speak from your heart. And number 3 is speak from experience. That's it.
Wow.
Outside of those 3 principles, you can't go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thinks it's public speaking is so difficult, and no, bro, give God the platform, right? I don't remember at MenaceCon, I spoke right after Ed Milet, right? Mm-hmm. Right after Ed Milet. Just think about that for a second, bro. Put yourself in my shoes, right? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? All right, Ed Milet's getting off the stage, and now Billy's going on.
Wow.
Billy is speaking after Ed Milet. What do you think of that?
You delivered, bro.
Praise God. But remember, in the middle, it was like a couple minutes in, I said, wait a minute. I said, I haven't given God the platform.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then I gave God the platform, and then everything changed.
Wow.
Everything changed. Once you give God the platform, bro.
Makes so much sense, bro. Why? Just to give you your flowers, man. Just how great you deliver every time, brother. And literally, I'm like looking forward every time you're on the list, man. I'm always looking for it. Like, man, and it's so funny, Carlos, because you deliver, like, literally you could kill it on real estate. You could, like, any segment, you could just kill it, bro. And again, I just want to give you your flowers.
Thank you, brother.
Those 3 steps, man, it's definitely something I definitely want to get into myself in the future. So with those 3, I'm going to build it around those 3 steps that you just gave me, man, because that's powerful. Call it like that being authentic, like literally those 3 things. Wow. And then the basic question I want to ask you is, where can people find you? Those who are listening, who might not be following you yet, where can people follow you at?
I think the simplest thing, and I don't know what's going on. I think I've been maybe shadow banned or something, because sometimes when you post things, bro, I'll have a story that gets like 13, 15, 17,000 views, and then I'll have a story that gets 3,000 views. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's going on with Instagram. And then I'll have a reel that will get, what was one of the 95,000 views, 159,000 views, 19,000 views, 13,000 views. It's just all over the place, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, whatever. But yeah, that's where Carlos Reyes on Instagram, right there.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. And then do you have a website, brother? Those of you who are looking forward to
the freedom and allinnation.com, allinnation.com.
Awesome. Fire, man. Well, I want to thank you, bro.
I hope to see you again, God willing, soon, brother. And man, keep me posted. We'd love to see you soon, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I want to thank you for your time.
Whether it's at Freedom or one of the events in your area or whatever. Well, I know God's going to continue to put us in each other's path, bro. So,
amen. Love it, man.
You, bro.
Same here, brother. Thank you for your time, man. Those of you who are listening, make sure you guys follow Carlos Reyes. Wherever you're listening in this, please screenshot it and then just tag us so that way we could reshare it and spread the love, man. This has been amazing, Carlos. Is there anything else that you want to say before we head out?
Just want to tell you personally, man, keep up the good work. Honor yourself, honor your wife, honor your children, honor your business. More importantly, honor God, and seek His kingdom first, and everything will be given to you.
Love it, man. Thank you. And again, thank you, brother. This has been amazing. Make sure you guys subscribe, guys. Those of you who are listening, and give us that 5-star review if you truly feel like it was a 5-star show, which I think it's a 10 for me personally. But other than that, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Vamonos.
And some don't like that. They hate that they see you smile. As if I haven't been hustling, it's been a while. Gotta put in the work if you wanna shine. I want it all and I'm coming for what's mine. Some call me greedy, bitch, I call it ambition. Some call me selfish, bitch, I call it motivation. Different levels of thinking and we both right. But my mindset is on growth with the future bright. Close-minded people mad at me that I'm speaking facts. Or maybe could it be that I'm getting racks? Open your mind, gotta open it to receive. I'm always 10 toes for what I believe. Close-minded people mad at me that I'm speaking facts.